Welcome back to Final Fantasy VIII. So let's meet Quistis at the secret area. See what she wants.
Well, the crickets chirp in the background.
No, don't worry, Shiroi. Quistis is actually about to completely destroy your fears anyway. Squall, I was just wondering, have you fought T-Rex?
From what you said, yeah.
Yes. Have you fought T-Rexaurs in the... Yeah, it's not T-Rex, Shiroi. It's T-Rexaurs.
But still, the garden has fucking dinosaurs roaming around in their training areas.
I'm not sure.
You can defeat it quite easily by using Status Junction. Let's go over the status changes in the tutorial.
What's another tutorial?
This is literally the 4th tutorial on junctioning so far.
Hold it. I thought you told me that you were no longer my teacher. Why are you still teaching?
Remember, Squall, one last order.
I thought I was going.
Something.
I thought I was going to get laid tonight. I didn't think this is what she meant by it.
Yeah, Shiroi. This is what
extra credit.
There you go, Shiroi. This is what she meant. Not what you were thinking.
A tutorial.
Yes.
And you just know somewhere in the garden, Cypher is rejoicing because he feels the pain that Squall is passing through, leaving this tutorial again.
It's
sorry. Do you prefer this over getting laid, getting a tutorial?
I'm saying nothing.
You'll still be
I think Spoony put it best. This is like the 4th tutorial on junctioning so far. How complex is this thing?
Not just that, this is also badly paced and badly presented at that.
And yet, I'm gonna say it, I still feel like the tutorials in this are better than 13.
Well, that's the thing, Jova. The first 30 hours of 13 is a tutorial, basically.
Honestly, for 13 the tutorials of 13 are mostly just in the data log. Otherwise, like Pedro demonstrated pretty effectively, most of the early of 13, and pretty much the halfway through of 13 is just mashing buttons.
No, that's the thing too. See, when people usually say that the first 30 hours of that game is a tutorial, what they mean is that it's only by the 30-hour mark that you finally get access to your full-blown party system where you can switch your party, and you even had a tutorial for that. So it's only at the 30-hour mark that the game ends tutorials altogether. That's what they mean when they say that. Anyway, to sum up status J, what this boils down to is you can junction magic to your stats, meaning if you you can junction a certain spell to give yourself more elemental resistance or elemental strength in a certain element. Like for example, Like for example, you can give yourself even elemental attacks. Like for example, you can put blind, which will give you dark elemental physical attacks. You can also
no, it's only tied to the status debuff that you can cause. Blind will basically inflict the blind status.
Never mind, you're right. Yeah.
What this translates is get the death spell as soon as you can and put it into the junction, attack button, and you'll break whatever normal monster.
Sure. Status defense is about basically again elemental resistance. Go ahead.
I think it's at this point where we have to ask ourselves, the tutorial for this game, was it necessary to have it this much because of how complex the system was? Did they maybe just over-explain it enough? Or is it, say, a symptom of, just the case of they wanted to try and spread the stuff out so that it didn't feel like everything got padded into one single section?
I'm gonna go with all of the above, Jova, because that's pretty much what it is.
So I guess that kind of sums up to overcomplicated system leads to overcomplicated tutorial, which leads to them frantically trying to think of ways so that explaining the tutorials doesn't come off as padded as it possibly could.
Also, Azuna tries to give you protection to most of the debuffs, but only with a paltry percentage, so don't even bother, even with 100 stocks of it.
It boils down to this. Do you want to get some fire resistance to your some resistance against fire damage? You can use status J to give yourself junctioning fire to your defense, and you'll be stronger against fire magic. That's the kind of thing that you have to basically. That's what it boils down. Come on, let's go to the secret area. It's just inside the training center. But anyway.
This is accomplished for me.
It boils down to this, Jova. Again, it's like I said before. This is the game that's in complete denial of its own shallowness, and so these tutorials is the game pummeling into your head of how complex this game is basically.
There's
I
also
do think-
sorry, go on.
I do think it's a bit more nuanced than that. I think the problem is that in typical Square fashion, making things overcomplicated makes the true material come off as shallow. Even though in this case, I don't necessarily think the junction system is, inherently shallow. It's just that, well, like you've said, the overcomplicated nature of it feels like a dumb person trying to sound smart.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately makes it come off as shallow. Even though it may not really be. It really is a bit of a shame, though. Well, and apparently it did work for when the game came out.
There's also the fact that these junction into everything also means that aside from weapons, your character do not actually have equipment, as in armor type equipment, which is basically sacrilegious for the franchise.
All
To be
right.
fair, didn't 7 kind of get rid of the whole armor thing too?
Nope, you had the bangles.
But anyway, yeah. This is the training center.
Oh, I didn't know the bangles were considered armor.
Technically armor. The accessory is the third slot, the one for the rings.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They considered that. All right then.
This is the training center of Balam Garden. Yes, Balam Garden has a training center full of man-eating creatures.
Including fucking T-Rex.
And allow me to remind you, the students are completely free to just waltz right into this place. Like, seriously.
So there is surveillance of these, but it's just still ludicrous.
Like seriously. Yeah, maybe it's... I can already imagine. Hey, Shiroi, do you think it's a good idea to leave all these creatures? Basically, it's commonly understood that if you go into Balam Garden, don't wander into Jurassic Park. That's the basic gist of it.
And keep in mind, it is common for students to freely roam in here to go to the secret place to sneak in and make out.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine this if you were in your university?
That is worth getting laid, I guess.
I guess. So you're telling me that essentially, if you want to try and get laid, you have to risk life and limb. I gotta say, that shows some dedication.
Yes, Pedro?
Imagine this if you were walking around in your university and suddenly you came across a place full of T-Rexes and man-eating plants.
Well, I'm just glad I'm not at the university anymore.
And there it is, the T-Rexaurs. Squall, be careful. Sometimes it's better to run. Screw running.
Even though we came here to face the thing.
That's okay. Well, actually, no, never mind. I escaped. Never mind.
That's because compared to the average monster, the T-Rexaurs have more inflated stats.
So there you go. Shiroi. There's T-Rexes in this school. So Shiroi, Okay, Shiroi. In comparison to Hogwarts, how dangerous is this school right now?
This is safer.
Yeah, it is safer.
It is smaller, and technically speaking, has only one major dangerous area. Hogwarts is a safety hazard for every place you go.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, they literally have a beast that can petrify or kill you by looking at you.
Oh, look, guys. These creatures have spells that I don't have, so allow me as I spend like 5 minutes drawing magic from them here. So...
And keep in mind, Pedro is using the speed up function because in the original it does take 3 times the time you're seeing right now.
Trust me, this will be especially a godsend with Final Fantasy IX because that game was infamous for being slow.
It's both the speed up and turning off random encounters. Turning off random encounters in 9 in particular is a godsend.
Yeah,
because Final Fantasy IX's encounter frequency was, for some reason, really amped up to a ridiculous degree.
I think it was like, the parameter was like, they had sort of a multiplication factor based off of every step you took in that game.
I'm gonna get to the formula in the meantime. Because, it is a thing that Medjoa mentioned.
So,
and thankfully, the wiki actually provides the formulas for stuff like that.
So, Quistis, just to recap, you talked about fighting T-Rexaur, we came across it, and it nearly handed our asses to us, so we had to run. What exactly are we doing here again?
That's the thing. That's the thing, Squall. The idea is for us to go for the training center to get to the secret area, because the secret area is actually at the center of the training center.
And what exactly is waiting for me in the secret area? It better be something good, worth all of us.
Well, let's see. I mean, if I told you, it wouldn't be a surprise now, wouldn't it?
Do I go in with some expectations or no expectations so I don't risk disappointment?
The best, the answer, Squall, is no expectations. I can assure you that.
Thanks, Quistis. At least you're honest there.
Anyway, yeah, let's continue drawing more silences. The silence spell does exactly what the name implies. It allows you to... Go ahead.
I will say this. This game is one of those games that, since I played it myself, it feels more fun to play than it is to watch when it comes to drawing.
That's the thing, Jova. Drawing is literally just this. You're just constantly doing the exact same command over and over and over and over. It's tedium. It's so fucking tedious.
It's about reaching a point, Jova, where, in reaching the point is all this micromanagement that you're seeing right now. Yes, when you actually get to the point, you will be basically like a god, and the enemies will stand no chance against you, but you have to get there.
I guess when it comes to 8, the reason that I didn't have that much a horrible time playing it, more as,
Blue Magic.
I guess I want to say I like it more than dislike it, but I'll admit, the more I look back and analyze on stuff, the more problems I do notice. That said, I think what keeps it from being, an absolutely bad Final Fantasy game is like, well, I guess it balances out enough to the point where the gameplay on a whole can still be fun despite some annoying mechanics, and the story, while it definitely has a lot of weak points, isn't necessarily the worst and does have a few high points.
But yeah, like I said, Blue Magic is lame in this game. It's mostly one-hit attack with no particular quirks about them, aside from the few staples like Bad Breath.
Alright, if I remember correctly, we're gonna get to the secret area right now. So starting from this point, it's nothing but plot, pretty much.
I think it's in around a minute, actually.
I will say this. Another thing that does salvage this game is the soundtrack, though.
I don't know. Like, for me, because of the soundtrack, this is actually one of the weaker soundtracks for me, just because, don't get me wrong, it does some tracks that I like. It's just that compared to something like 7 soundtrack and 9 soundtrack, for example, it just doesn't really hold up to those two, for example.
Yeah. When it comes to the PlayStation Trojan, as I like to call them, 8 is definitely the child that gets shadowed by its older and younger sibling. That said, though, I will say that the soundtrack is one of the better things of the game overall that salvages it.
I guess.
Within itself.
Also, another thing that I noticed, the fact that despite the character actually having them, Quistis actually doesn't really have glasses while fighting. I guess it was a limitation back then, but you think that they would actually put that on the model for the remastered version?
Well, I can tell you that she does always wear her glasses in World of Final Fantasy. So they did. So apparently that is supposed how it is. It was probably just a limitation
that's
thing.
What I mean. I thought they would have actually, considering the actual field sprites had to be
here you
remade
go.
in some fashion.
There you go. This is one of my personal favorite scenes for all the wrong reasons. All right, let's go. Okay, guys, I propose we bust out a stopwatch for this cutscene. I will count. I haven't been here for a while. There you go. This is a secret area that she was talking about. All right, let's count down how long it takes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Do something, you stupid game! Thank God! What time is it? What time for you to get a watch, Quistis? Seriously! Game! Squall, say something, please.
This is an awkward moment, Pedro.
Say something.
It's after midnight.
Okay.
That doesn't quite answer the question.
Oh well.
Squall, I have better soldier skills than you, for fuck's sake.
Game. Game! Do something! Thank you. I Quistis Trape him. No longer an instructor as of now. There you go, Shiro. She's no longer his teacher. So it's okay now. I'm a member of Cid now, just like you. Who knows? Maybe we'll end up working together. There you go, Shiro. The problem is averted. Shiro.
Hold on. So did she just quit her job as teacher now that we've graduated?
Kinda.
Apparently, Jova, her only job was to teach Squall. Apparently that was it. I don't know.
Squall's the chosen one, I guess, because he
is that all
wields
you're
a gunblade.
Hold on.
I'll get to that, Jova. Is that all you're going to say?
You haven't really given me much to think of.
3,
1,
4,
5, 6, 7.
If that's how it was decided, you have to abide by it.
Ooh.
You know, Kitaze, you went to film.
I'm literally feeling how heavy the air is.
Kitaze, you went to film school before you joined Square. You should know how pacing and directing a scene works. Jesus. They told me that I failed as an instructor. Basically, that I lacked leadership qualities. Well, you're 18.
Oh.
I mean, you shouldn't even be a teacher at 18.
Did she mess
Squall.
up? Did she mess
Squall.
up?
Hello. Game.
Action.
I'm thinking. Okay.
I was a seed by the age of 15. Got my instructor license at 17. Yeah, this world is kind of fucked up that way. Seriously, this scene is painful to sit through because of how badly paced it is. It's only been a year since I got it.
I get it. So it's tragic that she lost her license because she got fired because...
So, Squall, what are your thoughts on all this? I wonder what I went wrong. So, Squall, where do you think that I went wrong?
I tried so hard.
I did my best.
So far.
Okay.
I want Jovitz now. Are you listening?
If you want my advice on where you went wrong, it was giving Cypher the captain position.
I actually agree.
Are you done yet?
Are you done? Are you done blabbering yet, woman?
I don't want to talk about it.
Then what the fuck was the point of this scene?
What am I supposed to say about other people's problems?
What a great person you are, Squall.
I'm not asking you to say anything. Well, then why did you even bring us here then?
Okay, Squall.
Best answer incoming, I think.
I just want you to listen. Oh, so you just love listening to the sound of your own voice. Okay. Fine.
Oh, here we go.
Then go talk to a wall.
Thank you.
I mean,
wow.
Not just that. Squall, it's... Yeah, seriously.
Aren't there times when you want to share your feelings with someone?
Okay.
Get a dog! Like...
Okay. Yes, I get it. Squall is not exactly treating the scenario with the sense of grace per se, but to his credit, Quistis is literally just launching all of this on him, like, out of the blue. It's like, imagine if a friend of yours said, hey, can you go through this dangerous alley with me where we may die so I can talk to you about something? And then you're like, okay. And, like, they don't give you any hint of how serious it may be or whatnot. Then all of a sudden they launch this on you and like, hey, I got fired and I got divorced. Can you tell me what I'm supposed to do? And, like, you don't have any preparation for this. Like,
not just...
I love how Quistis just said, failed instructor, no leadership qualities.
And by the way, that's most of her characterization.
That's remember, her one character trait is that she's a teacher, and she literally just admitted that she's a shit teacher. Okay. So...
Yeah, by the way, that's it. You're supposed to go back to the entrance now. But still, Squall, it was that easy. You're close. She wanted the D, Squall. The D.
Exactly. and by the way, Shiroi, Teo's not joking. Later on, we learned that that is indeed what she wanted here when she was talking to him.
It was literally, sure, she resigned, but it was still like your teacher. Every student perverted thought coming to fruition.
Allow me to...
occasion, and you cut it with your gunblade.
If I'm going to be fair to Squall, I don't think Quistis really gave the signals that great, all things considered.
I'm not gonna comment on that because I don't think I'm qualified for that. Talking.
I actually want to mention something about that scene. That scene, feels such like a waste of time to me. Okay.
Oh boy, this. Don't worry, this is just a boss fight. We'll explain a bit better later.
Don't worry, don't bother reading it. It's just Squall's name. I was just trying to say. Basically, we're gonna fight a boss. That's all you need to know. Don't worry. This is nothing really important here happens plot-wise. Anyway,
Quistis. She calls her Quistis.
That's because
that's one your hint potentially.
That's a little hint for later. That's all you need to know. The point is, Okay, see, here's the thing. Usually in storytelling, when you have a heart-to-heart scene between two characters, it's so that the two characters can share their feelings with each other, and as a result, the writer gets to develop their characters. It's a very tried-and-true manner of developing your characters. Like, I can point to a million different stories from games, movies, books that do this. It's a very common, tried-and-true form of storytelling. Here's the problem about how Kitase uses it in this game. He just has the characters go to this place. Quistis just stands there talking to a wall, basically, and Squall contributes absolutely nothing, which causes the conversation to come across as empty and pointless in the long run, because all we learned from this scene was that Quistis kind of admits that she's a shit teacher, which doesn't really do her character that many favors because it's her one character trait.
Can I point out a problem with that?
Let me finish though. Combined with the fact that Squall, again, says absolutely nothing, we still have no information, no insight into his character and how he feels about the whole situation. And as a result, that scene just comes across like that scene in its entirety fails at the whole purpose of a heart-to-heart scene between characters. The whole point of these scenes is to have the characters voice their own feelings to each other. But they don't do that. So it makes that scene just like, I don't understand. Why would you have a heart-to-heart scene between characters if you're not going to have them actually have a heart-to-heart? It makes no sense. Go ahead, Jova.
You will meet these people later on in Disc 3, so don't worry about them for now.
Anyway, though, but going back to my point here again with how Quistis really sucks at the foreplay if she was trying to get laid. First of all, how exactly does she suck as a teacher? Like, okay, we're just told she sucks as a teacher, but from what we've seen, she's followed the necessary protocol that a teacher should have. So where exactly... Okay, yeah, I'm with her. Where did she go wrong? It feels more like a legit question of where did she go wrong, because I, the player, was just as confused as she was about why apparently she was considered a crap teacher. Now, if you were to... okay, now if you were
hold on, John, I'm going to have to interrupt you because this is great. Quistis says, Squall, not everybody can get by on their own, you know? And Squall literally answers, says who?
Linkin Park music in the background.
Crawling it. Go ahead.
Anyway, but yeah, seriously though. Okay, now, in hindsight, I really think that the main reason she got fired as a teacher was just so that, you know, if you want to potentially ship her with Squall, it doesn't come off as creepy or wrong, like Shirai pointed out. That said, though, story-wise, it feels literally like it comes out of nowhere. And I get it, you know, maybe that's how some people like to play foreplay, but I'm sorry, Quistis, that was a very awkward shot at it. And don't get me wrong, Squall isn't exactly the best and receptive person, but seriously, you could have tried something a little more, well, it doesn't have to be clear, but something more coherent.
The only way Quistis' desire it makes any sense to me is that she has a scar on the face fetish. That's the only way this makes any sense to me.
Well, okay. In hindsight, I can see why she might have a thing for Squall. What I don't get is, again, how she thought that would be a clear sign that she wants to get laid, because it sounds more like an actual serious problem here. Like, unless I check, Squall doesn't have a fetish for those.
All right, go ahead. I think he's going to say something. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll just go to sleep.
Also, yeah, Zell was worried.
Well, that's what you're best at, so go ahead. All right, everybody.
It's happening right in this part?
Nobody leave the room, because we're about to get to one of my all-time favorite moments in the entire series for all the wrong reasons. Okay, fine. I'm not being entirely fair. Half reasons I like, half the reasons are for the for the wrong reasons. But let's just say it's complicated. Well, you'll see.
All right, I'm hurrying. Literally,
gotta go fast.
Again, I love this remasters boosters. They're so useful.
So I guess that now that we're officially Seed members, we can now wear our own custom outfits.
Pretty much.
All right, let's go. Lord Raiden.
Oh,
Don't make money.
This cool skateboard.
Zell, you boards though. Those boards don't work on water.
This was still done in the 90s, by the way.
Look at that, Shiroi. Zell has extreme gear from Sonic Riders.
T-boards are prohibited in Willy Garden. Have you forgotten?
T-boards. Dibs?
Sorry,
Maybe I haven't caught up to that bit yet.
but this is really cool. It may come in handy on a seed mission someday.
Ooh, I
Spoilers,
sense
it
a
won't.
potential minigame if ever they did that. Yeah, you would think that would have been made for a minigame.
here. Confiscated.
You know,
Actually, I think it would be better because this is.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you remember to see. Okay.
Nevertheless, you're still students at this garden.
So you have to obey the rules.
Furthermore, because you're seeds, you must set an example to all others and abide by the garden's rules.
All right.
Understood.
That makes sense. To be fair. And by the way, there goes Shiroi. That's the Selphie is wearing the outfit that she uses in Kingdom Hearts right now. Well, about your first mission, you are to go to Timber.
Yes, there's a city called Timber.
There, you will be supporting a resistance faction. That is your mission.
Can you be a bit more specific?
No, because I'm a moron.
No.
A member of the faction will contact you at Timber Station. You'd think they would get some kind of mission debriefing or something, but I guess not.
I get the feeling we're gonna get into some wacky hijinks
Oh,
while we get
debriefings
there.
at the end.
Could you imagine, Dwebs, if M told 007? By the way, 007, you're supposed to kill this terrorist here. Okay, and that's it. That's all she says.
At this time, you must reply that the owls are still around.
Yeah.
The code name.
Yeah, code sentence.
Password, and it's not Swordfish, sorry. That is the password.
The owls are still around. Okay, that sounds easy enough to remember.
It will make sense when it's called like that once I actually get to Timber.
Just follow the faction's orders.
Zell?
Just us three?
No, you three and me. Who else do you think you are?
Correct. We have agreed to do this mission for very little money.
How the hell do you even stay in business?
Normally we would never accept such requests,
Oh.
but...
Enough talk about that. We don't want to spoil the plot.
Oh, yes.
Well then, Squall, you are the squad leader. Use your best judgment based on the situation.
Well, they're
Good.
fucked.
Hey. Hey, I actually know how this stuff works.
Zell and Selphie,
Whatever.
you are to support Squall and give all to carry out the faction's plans.
Okay, guys,
All
get
right.
my bag.
Alright, now let's talk to
Before you
Cid.
can go, you can talk to Cid again.
Okay. Oh, and Squall, I forgot to give you this.
What could it be?
It's a cursed item, but if one with enough power uses it, it should be of great help. Why are you giving me a cursed item?
Because supposedly
fuck
we
you.
haven't.
At least she's telling you it's cursed.
Received
Oh, a magical lamp.
Ooh, a magical lamp!
Huh.
Oh, I know what the... and look at that! It's Robin Williams! So there's a genie inside that lamp, apparently, clearly.
Yeah, I'm definitely convinced that it was intentionally fashioned after
Once
Robin
again,
Williams.
the password is but the owls are still around. Don't forget it, dipshits.
Little reminder there. Okay, so... well, okay, he's told me to be careful, but, I mean, it's just a magic lamp. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right?
Okay, who wants to rub it?
And even though she's there, we can. And we still don't have the switch members option on the switch.
It's for the GF. It's similar to how materia can be exchanged in 7.
Sure,
between
sure,
members
sure.
that are not in
Swapping out
team.
your girlfriends now.
That's
yes, I am.
yeah.
Well, Quistis wasn't doing it for me.
But Shiroi, Quistis taught us that this is how you do things.
Look. Quistis wasn't doing it for me, so I'm gonna have a go with Selphie and see if that works out.
Apparently, Shiroi, in this world, it's perfectly
You're
acceptable.
gonna have so much. You're gonna have so much fun,
Oh,
Squally
no.
Wally.
You see,
Oh my god.
you see, Shiroi, in this
Question
world,
my decision.
you see, Shiroi,
Yes, Pedro.
you see, Shiroi, in this world and culture, it's acceptable to switch girlfriends.
All right, everyone, follow me. Single length. In fact, repeat every motion I do.
Yeah, that's
Why
kind
even
of
you-
the that's
Okay,
kind of
then.
why I say that
Hey,
removing the
everybody.
dimensional
My name's-
pocket kind of
Alright,
is a bit silly in this game
Okay.
because it just
Okay,
creates
then.
this conga line.
I actually think it's fine,
No,
personally.
guys, I got it. The guys, I got it.
Okay then. Hi, I'm Squall. I like to mope a lot in my bedroom and listen
Hey,
to Evanescence.
All right, let's give a look to the magic lamp. I wonder what's inside.
So, what exactly could be inside the magic lamp? I mean,
All right, somebody rub it.
you told me it was cursed, but I mean, it's a magic lamp. What could possibly go wrong, right?
Use Zell's hair for rubbing it.
Okay.
You should save
You
your
should save
game before using it.
See. Okay, even the game's
Oh,
warning you. What? now?
Oh my God! It's Satan! Oh
Wait, how did we
who
get here?
dares disturb my sleep?
It was him. He did it.
Taste gravity magic,
Ah.
bitches.
no! There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The fucking devil is inside this lamp. Like,
Why would you give your students this?
Because if you beat him, you get a very nice reward.
but
Pretty much.
But that's the thing. Again, allow me. Yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing that I was talking about in a previous part. This is the one big problem I had with the storytelling in this game. This game, a lot of times, will throw you this bizarre concept that is kind of cool in a gameplay standpoint, but from a story perspective, it's just bizarre and nonsensical. Why the hell would Cid even have this? In fact, this brings up all sort of terrible questions. What kind of fucked up shit is Cid into so that he has a magical lamp with fucking Satan in it?
Well, Pedro, considering what we do learn about Cid later in this game, maybe he got
Oh, I get,
from.
I get that, Jova. I know what you're referencing, Jova. But how does that tie into fucking Satan?
Well, maybe because you know who gave him that. It was all part
Okay,
of you know
the,
who's
the official name for this summon is Diablos, but yeah,
Diablos.
you get the mean Diablos. But and this was actually his first appearance. He became sort of iconic afterward. That as you can see, is specialized with the gravity spells, which work spectacularly against you, but never in your favor. It's kind of a running gag in the entire franchise.
And yeah, like Teo said, it's called Diablos, which is Spanish for the devil. So yeah, this is the devil.
And you know what? And you know what? That's a pretty kick-ass design.
Oh, it is. I mean, who did the monster designs for this game, Teo?
I don't know. Probably Nomura still.
I don't know. Actually, no. I think he only did character designs starting with 7 too. I think
I'm
6.
checking.
If I remember correctly, 6 was the last game where he did monster designs. So,
Hey guys, just hold strong. We are beating the literal devil here, but I think we can win this.
Bob Ross, is that you? Just beat the devil out of it.
It's one of those. It's one of those cases where, like, the developers just expect us to accept incredibly bizarre shit. And just accept it like we found an extra Twinkie in our pocket. Like
that's kind of the problem. Again, if you're applying this concept to something that involves extra-dimensional things to begin with, like say 5, it actually makes more sense to have a concept this potentially ludicrous. The problem of 8 is that its own being grounded in more quote-unquote realism in its setting kind of dampers when shit like this start to happen.
And by the way, here's a strategy for beating the devil. What you do is you don't beat him immediately because he has the demi spell. The demi spell is incredibly useful to junction to your attack stat. So draw as much demis from him as you can. If you don't have, if you're playing the if you're playing the remaster, you can easily activate the boosters to save yourself, so you'll be fine. If you're still playing on an earlier version without boosters, apply the cast blind on him. This is because he has 2 attacks: a physical attack and a gravity spell. The gravity spells never actually take your life, but they never actually kill you because it's gravity magic. And if you blind him, his physical attack most likely will fail, so you'll be mostly fine. Go ahead.
Fighting Satan.
Yes.
Come on, guys, keep drawing demi off of him, and then
Anyway,
act with my meat shield.
I checked here, there's no official mention of a specific monster design. The closest were battle system designer Hiroyuki Ito and character design battle visual director Tetsuya Nomura.
Oh, so it was him. Oh, okay, good job, Nomura.
Come on, Zell and Selphie. Keep drawing Demi off of him, act as my meat shields, and we'll eventually get victorious when I feel like we have enough.
Hey,
Not to mention, Diablos is a GF that you want to get in the original game. Mind you, with this booster is a bit redundant now, but the original game, Diablos is a GF that you want to get as soon as possible because it has the ability Zero Encounter, which when turned on allows you to bypass a normal encounter completely if you're in a section where you want to keep your levels low or don't want to fight the mooks.
Fortunately, the remaster you can just turn off red encounters natively, so you can stop your levels from raising even right from the very beginning of the game. So it becomes even better there. Shiroi,
Okay. So to his.
considering we can name the, I mean, if we beat him, we can use them as our guardian force. So yeah, this is our new girlfriend, Shiroi.
The devil.
She can be your angle or your devil.
So Shiroi, question: why do you think we should? what do we think we should name our new GF?
Oh.
Remember, we can name it. So.
That's some dangerous power you're giving to her, Pedro.
Well, while this is going, Jova, finish your point.
So, okay, to the store's credit, this is technically how you get GF. So it does make some sort of sense that Cid would give this to his students, because he wants to give them a nice advantage out in the field. Especially since he's got an eye out for Squall, who is a wielder of the gunblade. So technically in this world it makes sense he would give it to them. What is weird is again his way of wording the stuff about it, and the fact that from a magical lamp comes the devil instead
How
of...
about Dahlia?
That could work, Shiroi, but I have a better name in mind.
Oh?
Well, my use of music from earlier should give you a hint.
Oh, Chernobog.
Very good, Jateo. There you go.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Vanille when you get down to it, is kind of evil, but Dahlia is like, something
A literal demon.
Satan.
I know that. It's just that I thought it would be a nice. I just thought it would be nice to bring back that joke. Why not? There you go. Try.
But yeah, like I said, it technically does make sense that Cid gave us the lamp, to help us out. I think what makes it weird is that this is the procedure upon which you need to get them. Which I guess in a way is kind of like a precursor for 13, where you have to battle summons before they become one with you. Well, and I guess to be fair,
go, Selphie, go!
Okay, to be fair, Jova, fighting the summons you will get, it's a concept as old as 3 and 4 in terms of the chapter of the series.
True, yeah, so it's not that bad.
To be fair, this one brought it back because 7 kinda skipped it, most of it.
Yeah. Material all the way, baby! It's funny because then the 7 remake brought back the concept, so
Yeah.
the game that sort of got rid of it, remake-wise, now is all full-fleshed in it.
Alright. Booyah! Yeah, there's literally an attack of him called Booyah. Holy!
Of course, Selphie has the holy
Holy
spell.
shit. Again, Selphie gets the better tools.
Yeah.
We're gonna use our holy power of God to destroy Satan, or something along those lines.
Not gonna lie, as soon as I got Selphie in my party, I pretty much used her whenever possible because she's a contender for, that kind of a character,
I still think Squall's Renzo Kuken is the most broken limit break of the game, so we might as well just stick to that. Again, yes, Selphie has at the end, which functions as an insta-kill on anything, literally anything, but in terms of sheer power, Squall is just, unstoppable, if you know what you're doing.
There you go.
Zell is mostly fine, but you need to know which combination triggers the final attack. If you actually chain his type of pummeling, it will actually conclude with a finishing blow. In later on, it will actually chain with other types of attacks.
Not a fan of his limit break. Like it.
Again, it tries to replicate an actual fighting game command experience, so I can imagine why it might discourage people for how the level input is.
It's mostly because, I don't know, I think for a turn-based combat system, it doesn't really make much sense to having a system like that in it, personally. Like, I don't know, like, I just feel... You don't get to... I mean, it will never work as well as it would in a natural fighting game. So...
I think it's fine enough for what they were trying to do, but...
It's more immersive than whatever when, the reeling slots for Tifa were handled in 7.
So the moral of the story here, Dwibs, is if you have a magical lamp, be careful. It might have Satan in it.
If only a lad had learned.
I mean, at least you have a chance of fighting the fucking thing in King's Quest V, where it just traps you forever.
Well, of course.
Yeah. I guess Satan is more sporting than a typical genie.
Well, to be fair, Teo, how would Graham even attempt to fight Satan?
Moldy cheese.
Probably.
Well, moldy cheese is used to activate the one transferring magic machine, Teo, not so much for fighting.
Pedro. Given the logic of King's Quest games, would you be surprised if moldy cheese was
There we go.
defeated the devil?
Alright. Actually, no, we're still going. Yeah, but he has a shit. He has a shit ton of HP. He's a very big damage sponge.
Again, Pedro, you also kinda screw yourself over by having your characters level 100, which means also any enemy is also level 100.
Oh yeah, I'm aware of that. Don't worry. Well, look at it this way, Teo. At the very least, with that, the booster, at the very least, it counters the boosters at the very least. So.
But yeah, Jova, as you've seen also, the actual Lionheart finishing move is basically a 4-man clone of Omni Slash. Basically, again, trying to make it more similar to Cloud, we give Squall also a similar set of limit breaks. It's kind of funny, but that way. Even Lightning's Army of One at least was slightly different, especially because it was associated towards Leap to Weak.
Alright, and we're done, guys. We've defeated Satan!
We beat the devil!
Can we complain to our teachers, please?
We beat Satan.
Look at that neat cheating grin.
Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Vanille here will be joining us for the rest of the game. There you go, Shiroi.
Why?
Yeah, seriously, I'm usually a fan of just keeping the original names.
Oh, I know, Teo, but I mean, why might as well take advantage of this to get some jokes done? Why not? There you go. Well,
hey, Dwibs, you weren't even in our 13 commentary.
I did show him the highlight reel though. So
I mean, Jova, you do know that our videos are public on that.
The devil? Are you kidding me? He gave me a lamp that had the devil in it. I was expecting a happy genie who sings little songs and grants wishes, not the devil! How was I supposed to guess that? I mean, what kind of weird shit is Headmaster Cid into? I mean, I know he told me it was cursed and I should be careful, but when you give someone a lamp with the devil in it, you don't say, oh, be careful, it's a little dangerous. You say, here's a lamp and it has the devil in it!
It's a very useful devil, though. Okay, guys, we just defeated the devil. This is actually a pretty good start to our mission, I'm not gonna lie.
Bob Ross will be
Do we
so
get
proud.
extra credit for this?
No, we don't.
We better.
Okay, so at this point in the story, Squall should go back into the garden and kick Cid's ass for trying to kill him. But
You know, I'm considering doing that, but that would be giving him the satisfaction of showing that I care.
That's
So
the
I'm not
real
going to
reason
do
he
that.
sent so few of them away. It's so he could have them all killed.
yeah, we should go back to Cid and ask him to explain himself. But
What the hell, man?
however, Shiroi, this is a world where no person functions the way a normal human being would, so we're just gonna continue on with our mission and just pretend this never happened.
Again, the fact
So
that I
even
got...
the devil in the lamp and Squall reacts with whatever.
Yep.
Again, going back to kick his ass would give him the satisfaction of showing that I care, and I refuse to do that.
Allow me to remind you, Skitaze at one point literally wrote in the game design document, we're going to have a magical lamp, and if you rub it, the fucking devil comes out. He pitched this.
Great idea.
He pitched this to his team, And apparently, nobody thought this was a joke or anything. Apparently, people thought he was being serious.
But no, I wasn't serious, guys. Please.
So what's next? Are we gonna drink out of the Holy Grail? And it turns out, I don't know, the abominable snowman was in there.
At this point, Ritz, why the fuck not? This game clearly is not above doing the most random, weird ass shit for the shits of it. So. It's both incredibly glorious for how stupid it is, but at the same time it's also incredibly immersion breaking in terms of world building and story because of how out of place it is. Like Teo said, in Final Fantasy V this would make more sense. In Final Fantasy VIII, not so much. Alright everybody, tune in for the next part where with our new devilish girlfriend we're gonna go to Timber. So see you then.
See ya.
Lovely.